Hey everyone, John here, staff software engineer, over 10 years of experience. I'm the lead maintainer of Latterly.io. Latterly is an open source educational and social networking platform. They can help you learn to code and land your first or next programming role with an open source project-based curriculum. So today, Cursor update. I'm installing the Cursor update, which includes R1 and V3 DeepSeek models, as well as the Cursor agent can see changes made between user messages. So the agent experience in Cursor keeps getting better, and we'll try out DeepSeek and see how well it does. And I ran a poll, which is related, on my LinkedIn. And today, about twice as many people like Copilot more than Cursor. Even if we give all of these I don't knows over to Cursor, okay, that's not the case. The I don't knows could wash it. But yeah, Cursor versus Copilot, difference of more than double there. And let's see if the Cursor updates are improving the experience and if that changes things over time. Okay, so what are we working on? We are working on the community page. And you can already go create a public profile and tell people that you're open to work. And I often share this list with recruiters. I've gotten feedback from recruiters that this list is not super informative. So it's searchable today. If I search for potato, I can find my profile here. But most people are not leveraging the blurb to mention technical skills or anything like that that a recruiter would search for. And in production today, there's no list of technical skills. So the recruiter is like, well, if I'm hiring for Python, how do I see that? You know? So locally, we're working on an improvement there. Oh, I thought I updated Cursor. Did it not install or something? Well, locally, we're working on an improvement. I would start it up and show you, but we're apparently installing Cursor. Okay, we're booting up. Starting the server. And this initial load will take a little bit longer to spin up that development server. Okay. And you can see it looks much better now, and there's more items that are selectable. You can find just those people with contact information. You can find, for peer-to-peer reasons, if someone is open to networking, you can figure out how they're open to networking. So this is, and let me just test this, practice interview. Can I search practice interview? Cool, and then ninjutsu. Cool. All right, so this stuff is all searchable now, and I have the years of experience there. But the build is broken. So we need to fix this build. So let's see if we can switch over to DeepSeek now. My Windows mini bar won't go away. That's pretty annoying. It looks like I don't have access to DeepSeek. Can I see the about information here on Cursor? So I'm 458. Let's see. So I'm on 4.5. This is strange, right? We'll be rolling it out to all users in 4.5 in the coming week. It's been more than a week. Oh, this is better code base understanding. So that's even another feature. Enable them in settings models. Okay, cool. So let's check that out. Cursor has its own cursor settings. Here's models. And here are the DeepSeek models. Cool. And the Gemini Flash 2 is available. That's also cool. Why not? Let's enable those. I don't really like O1 Mini or Preview. O3 Mini, that's cool. I don't use the 4.0 Mini. I don't like cursor small. Cool, okay. So I should have some models that I care about now, eh? Good, and they're all available now. So here I will close this and we can open a new composer window, new composer. And let's go for DeepSeek v3. By the way, how would you know which to pick? So R is a reasoning model, but in general, you can watch this LM Arena, which is a leaderboard for the best model performance. And so you can see here R1 is a higher performer compared to DeepSeek v3. R1 is also MIT open source. v3 has a DeepSeek license. So that's interesting. So looks like R1 is the one we should be going for, and then maybe we can do the Gemini 2 experiment. Let's also look at the knowledge cutoff date. And I can't scroll sideways. That's like super annoying. Oh, it's actually not there. Where's the knowledge? Am I not seeing it? Where's the knowledge cutoff date? Okay. Matt's BX on Kick. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Omar Ghoul, is O3 Mini available on Cursor? Yes, it is. Good question. Thanks for being here. So I guess we need to go elsewhere to understand the knowledge cutoff, but that might be one reason that I would take even a less accurate model if it was more recently trained. So the Gemini Flash, the release date is 01/21. Let's see. Let's ask Gemini. Create prompt. Yo, this Windows is bugging me. It won't hide. It won't hide that bar there. What is the knowledge cutoff? Let's say, what is your knowledge cutoff? And if it gets confused, we can ask it about this model ID that we have. September 2021. Oof. Oof. Okay, so they seem to be consistent. Well, you have the ability to turn on grounding, so it can incorporate search in that case. That's a bummer, though. And what about DeepSeek? Not publicly known. Okay, let's turn on grounding. Search the web for the answer about DeepSeek. Croco, thanks for the follow. Content not permitted. How strange. Several sources suggest July 2023. Okay, so we don't get a significant advantage on the knowledge cutoff in that case. Gemini is an ancient model. Yeah, but not Gemini 2. Not Gemini 2. Gemini 2 is recently released. All right, anyway, let's proceed. So we have DeepSeek. We're going to go for R1. And I can even just like disable V3. So let's try to fix an issue. And we're using the agent mode. Okay, good. Leon, thanks for the follow. Unsupported model. Boo. Agent is only supported on Anthropic models or GPT-4o. Okay. All right. Well, that didn't last long at all. How strange. Oh, I guess we can take it out of agent mode and see what happens. Let's do that. That's a real bummer though. Agent mode has a lot of advantages. That's also strange that we're using a search instead of just navigating the imports. Okay, that's fine. How do you enable agent mode? There's just a button right here. It says agent. Okay, so this is fix type. So let's go back to DeepSeek. We'll do even a new composer. Even a new composer. We'll go back to DeepSeek and leave agent mode. So now we're in normal mode. Some of the things agent mode can do, it can proactively go search for other files. You saw that happen just now. It can also execute commands in its own terminal, a self-managed terminal, and it can chain of thought itself. With R1, it's a reasoning model, so in theory, it can still chain of thought itself, but it won't be able to do the self-managed terminal. I think that's not too much of a big sacrifice. We will see whether it's able to find relevant files that I don't explicitly provide the context. Is it able to retrieve those, or do I always need to explicitly provide? Because that is a developer experience. Significant difference if it can go retrieve the file itself or if I have to hunt it down and provide it. Okay, so we're looking at these build issues. We can also just npm run build locally to reproduce the issue. Local declaration that's never used should be an easy fix. I don't think we even need to ask AI about that. So that's a bit weird. I don't see it. Like it's always used. It's always used. Declares this locally, but it is not exported. Import type. Okay. Okay, it's just imported from the wrong location. Got it. So this should be tilde server schemas. Tilde server schemas. Go ahead and sort imports. This will be fix import. Also, this one, I should be able to import type here. Fixed type imports. Cool. Thank you for the follow. We got Aintainment, user 885, and Marty. Welcome in, Marty. On Kick, why to hacked my service RP? No idea what you're saying. Enter. No idea what you're saying, bud. Thanks for being here. Hope you'll throw some likes on the video. That'll help the algorithm send it around. We're working on Latterly.io. You can sign up for free. Link is in the bio. You can go sign up, and that will help you social network. So there's a Discord, hundreds of engineers over there, and we can get you a coding job if you're interested. Okay, so, or just help you learn to code if you want to learn it like a hobby kind of thing. That's cool too. So I'm going to npm run build. I don't mind using GPT or whatever to be my pair programmer, but I don't want it touching my code. I guess that's fine. I mean, I think you're blocking yourself from a major productivity gain where it can like draft unit tests for you and stuff, but if that's how you feel, that's fine. I would be worried about the opportunity cost, but compared to the future, they're small now. That opportunity cost will grow over time, right? Here, the bottom of my window getting cut off. So here's an error. All imports in the declaration are types, so we should use import type. Okay. Line 8, column 1. Line 8, column 1, so we should say import type. And then this is a Zod schema, so that's not actually a type. Okay, so I think that's the one case. Unsafe member access on a map. Okay, now we're getting interesting. Now we're getting interesting. So let's go over to DeepSeek and give it these two. Let's fix these build breaking errors. I'll stage my one fix that I did already, so we keep these all separate. Are you fixing build errors because of the AI? No, these are build errors that I've introduced. I'm using AI to fix them. I'm using AI to help fix them. Although you can see I fixed a bunch of those by myself earlier, right? So here we're testing out R1 now. This is like the first time that I'm using R1 to author any code or try to fix anything. So like, yeah, no sense blaming R1 for what's going on right now. It hasn't generated any of the prior code. Okay, so it trimmed out my type annotations. That's a bummer. Yeah, why did it do that? Okay, so let's retain those. Although the input, it is now typed. So let's see if that fixes the issue. So we're looking for labeled chip collection. So we'll npm run build again. Got it, you're testing the model capability. Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. We're looking for the file name labeled chip collection. Thanks for being here, by the way. Labeled, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And here, another thing I can do is I can echo a delimiter. So I'll say echo, put a bunch of asterisks or something. Okay, so we echo that, and now I will npm run build grep, and I'll just straight up grep labeled chip collection. Just in case I didn't see it when I was visually scanning it, this should make it like really obvious. Oh, my pipe grep didn't work at all. What? It passed everything through. Are you using Zustand? It's a, yeah, it's very state management. It's very state management. No, I'm not using Zustand. I'm using TRPC. Dinpress, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I don't want to use a third-party state manager. I don't see the value of it. I have React context. I have a database. Like, what do I need it for? You know? Use context basically solves all that stuff. I'm not seeing it. It looks like my grep failed, but I'm still not seeing it. So I think that's a win. So I'll do a commit message, fix unsafe member access. Okay. Meant to say cool. Oh, okay. All imports are in the declaration only. All right, we can fix this without. One of the things I don't like is when you control click, it pops it over into the composer tab. It just kind of annoys me. It's not a big deal. You just drag it over. Yeah, so these are types. Cool. Error is row 9, column 1. Okay, so we can type it here. Somewhere over here is complaining about a nullish coalescer. One of these cases I did it on purpose. I want to make sure that it's not getting... Oh, interesting. What does a nullish coalescer do to 0? Let's boot up node. So I'm going to say 0 coalesced to banana. It's 0, yeah. No, I really want to fail through on the 0 there. Does that make my linter mad? I want to fail through on the 0. Let's see what you're building. It's laterally.io. Okay, let me open it up real quick. Here's the website. You can sign up for free now. Link is in the bio. You can make a public profile, and we're improving these profiles to allow you to declare more information like your best skills, your years of experience, your job title, things like this. Make sense? So line 200, we have a complaint. Line 200. I want it to fall through on the empty string. I guess the linter is just like, dude, don't use the logical OR. Don't use the logical OR. Okay, so what would be the equivalent to use this without a logical OR? It's a string or null, right? So I can say if this dot length is greater than 0, it's getting too complicated, so I should extract a variable then. Okay, so I'll make a variable here, which is has contact that's something else. I'll say user, like, yeah, has user contact info. Good. That makes sense. And then I'll further distinguish this prior has contact to has contact in search. Okay, has contact in search. Big ol' yawn. All right, so they should be pretty different now. Why is this one mad? Object literal. Ah, okay. So that will be the query parameter name. Hey, Room, thank you for the follow. So here's the user. Where does the user come in? Ah, the user is calculated down here. User is calculated down here. So we have status chips. Yeah, I think we should break out this user component, eh? Good. That looks like a job for DeepSeek. So I'm going to undo the client community page changes. We'll say fix more type imports. Okay. And now this file, I'm going to bring it over to the composer. Update the client community page to extract a component. And what will I call this? A user card. User list item. Community. Member list item. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Update the client community page to extract a community member list item, which takes the content inside of the current users.map. And where do I want it to place this thing? It doesn't matter because it's not being an agent, right? So it should print the code in place, or it might try to override the file. Let's see what it does. I would probably make a new component right there. Anyone able to find a junior or entry position yet this year? Yep, there's a ton of them. Check out TrueUp jobs. About 7,000 internships and about 140,000 entry and mid-level roles. And this is just tracking like larger companies. This is not tracking every company. If you need help, send me a DM. What language is this? We're using TypeScript. Yeah, any entry level? Yes, I just walked through internship and entry level right here. It is not only there, it is the largest category. It is the largest category. There's loads and loads of entry-level jobs, y'all. Okay, so it moved this item right here. I want to extract it. Community member list item.tsx. Okay, paste that here. And I don't like that this interface is called user. It's not quite the same as user. This is like user public profile. This is like a public user. Okay, good. I think we're able to shrink this file a bit. Let's look at that length difference. So we're down over 100 lines. That's great. Your Highness, thank you for the follow. Al Bashamil, what would you recommend for work from home jobs, entry level? Just across all industries? I need to know your background. That's a really broad question. Like if you have no experience at all, maybe you could do like phone-based customer service. That's one option, like a call center. I advocate for people to get into tech. I think all things considered, the pay is like huge. The work-life balance is great. So I would say software engineer or web developer, but there's other options. Data analyst, you know. Knowledge work in general is really friendly to remote work. You could also do content creation, but it's really hard to like make money that way. In tech or more in cybersecurity? Well, cybersecurity is in tech, right? So those are not alternatives. But no, I would not encourage you to go directly to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is more of a specialization. So you should start general and specialize later. Look, if I show you the job count. So cybersecurity job count. 21K jobs. Although, how many of these will you qualify for? So mobile security engineer, that's even more specialized, right? This says AI MLE. I don't know, direct like, yeah. Maybe you could get this one. Is this one junior friendly? At least 5 years of experience. So yeah, these are going to be less junior friendly. But now let's go software engineer. Remember, 21K jobs, 52K jobs. So it's like 2.5 times more, and you're going to have more entry level, being more friendly to entry level. Hello to Brazil. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Bro, everybody is cooked. No, they're not. Look, dude, do you just ignore data? I mean, if you ignore data, you're cooked. Yeah. If you ignore everything I'm telling you, if you don't know how to work with a mentor who's like giving you free information, if you just stick your finger in your ears and you run around screaming how cooked you are, you're cooked. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Good job, bro. No, there's hundreds of thousands of jobs. The economy is improving. The market is up. Look at the NASDAQ over the past year. We're up, dude. All-time highs. All-time highs. Not a particularly good day today. That's because the tariff news. But we're still at all-time highs. And yeah, it's not a good move, but it's not an empirically large move either. We're on the order of a couple percentage points. Oh, that makes sense. Is there any certifications that you need to get into software engineering? No, you should make a portfolio of projects. And if you go to Latterly, link is in the bio. That's exactly what we show you how to do. There's a free checklist right here. Yeah. So you can see the exact projects that I recommend. Call them the big 4. These are the steps. Like from your first project to getting a job. Like that's really all it is. You have to do the work, you have to do real work, but it's not like a crazy number of steps. It's mostly like build projects and then have a job search. Thank you for the follow. Thought on what language to learn for being more hireable in large enterprise, Python or C#? Python easy. Python easy. Look at this. C# is just a Microsoft thing. So 22K jobs. $63K jobs. So it's like a 3x difference, right? It's like a 3x difference. If you really want to go to Microsoft, you can overweight C#, but for general competency, Python easy. Good questions, chat. Thanks for being here. I apologize for asking many questions, but would it be better to learn multiple languages? Please don't apologize. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to educate. Thank you for providing the questions. It gives me the opportunity to help. The answer is you don't need multiple languages, but there is a benefit to knowing multiple languages. That's the answer. There's also a risk. If you try to learn multiple languages at the same time, you're inhibiting your learning journey. If you treat it as a barrier to entry, if you construct a gate, if you gatekeep yourself, if you block yourself by requiring yourself to learn multiple languages before you start interviewing, you're going to take longer. And you may confuse yourself. You may confuse yourself. I've been in interviews where I had JavaScript and Python running through my mind, and I'm like, wait, what's the syntax I should be using right now? So it can become a pitfall. Overall, I recommend that you build the portfolio, you start interviewing, and while you are interviewing, do an 80-20% distribution, 20% keep learning and keep building even while you're interviewing. And in that 20%, you can start to learn a second language. But you can imagine it will take you quite a long, I don't know. If you're a quick learner, maybe it won't take you that long. But that's how I would learn it. I would put it in this budget my time, and I would put it in this 20% budget while I'm interviewing. I would not block myself from interviewing. Does that make sense? And I would also pause after Python. So if you want to learn multiple languages, okay, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, do you count those? Then we have TypeScript, okay? I'll let you do Python. I don't want you to do any more. I don't want you to do any more. Well, you can do SQL. Okay, do you want to count SQL? Fine. I don't want you to do any more until you've gotten a couple years in there. MIO, if you master one language, it's kind of trivial to learn another language. The problem is that no one has mastered any language. No one has mastered any language. Like, I don't care what language it is. I can give you 100 questions. You're not going to get all of them. The mastery mindset is just not a good mindset. You're not going to master JavaScript, Python, C, whatever it is. You're not going to master this probably ever, and definitely not in under a year. So the efficient way to leverage your time is to build a portfolio, get to a level of sufficiency, not mastery, and then start interviewing, and then polish the gaps. Polish and fill the gaps on an as-needed basis. If you're good in one. Yeah, I think you're not getting it, dude. I think you're not hearing me when I say that if you have never had a job before, you just learned one language, and now you're trying to learn your second. I don't think you've taught other people how to code a second language. There's a really big pain point there. And yeah, you eventually get over it, but it can take a couple months to sort out in your head, oh, that's how I do it in this one language, but that's not how I do it in this other language. Like, what languages do you know? I mean, think about the way that you do like counters, like the counters in Python versus any other language. It's like different, right? Are all these entry-level jobs require a degree? No, they don't. Not all of them, no. And you can look at the Stack Overflow Developer Survey. It's pretty consistent. You can look at 2024, 2023, whatever. You can look at the years. There's many years, but the percentage of having a degree is consistent. So here's educational attainment. 66% of developers have a bachelor's or a master's, despite only 49% of developers learning to code at school. All right, so let's look at professional developers. And so you can see two things here. You can see about 6% have nothing beyond high school. So it is possible to get a programming role without going to college. But man, do not build your life around something that is like possible, like has this remote single-digit percentage chance. You gotta be tough, dude. You gotta be super smart. It's hard. It's hard to do it that way. So just because it's possible does not mean it's a good idea. I want to tell you what's a good idea. What's a good idea is you at least get that associates. You at least get that associates. Okay, now you're looking at like you're in the 20%. And it's still going to be hard, but there at least you have a good shot. What you can do, why are you getting away from college? Often it's because of financial issues. So by the time you get the associates, you can start earning a little bit of money, and then you can have your employer pay for you to go get the rest of the bachelor's. Okay? It's going to be a really good return on investment for you to get the bachelor's, and frankly, often a master's is also a good ROI. So it's not required, but it's probably a good idea, particularly if you can get scholarships and get your employer to pay for it. If you're having to go out of pocket, I would still go for the associates. Night school, whatever you got to do. I would still encourage you to do that. Thoughts on which field to pursue in software for entry level, like DevOps, embedded, etc. You should be a generalist at the entry level. Specialize when you're a senior. Don't specialize. Don't foot gun yourself. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't dive into a silo and get stuck. So I encourage you to be a software engineer. The term software engineer is itself a job title. I want you to look for this job title, software engineer. Okay? I don't want you to look for this title. I don't want you to have 10 times less jobs. I don't want you to do that. So you can learn DevOps. I mean, it's a great thing to learn, but don't market yourself as a DevOps engineer as a junior. You're going to foot gun yourself. It's a bad idea. So software engineer, web developer, software developer, don't go for embedded, dude. Do not do embedded as a junior. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Thank you so much for being really helpful and giving amazing advice. It's my pleasure. Thank you for being here. Over 3,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. I'm glad I can be a help. By the way, you can sign up at Latterly for free. If I don't get to your question today, you can always post in the Discord. I'll show you where the Discord is. There it is, under the community tab. Tim says, is it a bad idea because there aren't many job postings in those niche roles? Yes, and specialized roles typically require a level of seniority. So not only are there 10x fewer roles, but also the roles that do exist are expecting you to have some prior experience. Because they're specializations, bro. That's what specializations are. Why not embedded? It's the same reason. Like, are you hearing what we're saying? Are you hearing what we're saying? I guess for some people you need to say it 3 times. You got an order of magnitude fewer jobs, homie. And if you do what I recommend, you got 2 orders of magnitude fewer jobs. Because what I recommend is going to get you over 100. Watch this. HTML or CSS or JavaScript or TypeScript or Python or React.js, or web, whatever. Let's leave it like that. Let's see what that gets us. Yeah, see, you have even more job titles that you qualify for: Vue, Angular, web developer, UI, UX developer. There's like many others, But do you see how it's like a 2 order of magnitude difference? My first job was as a embedded software developer. That's great. That's great. So here's how math works. When there's 9,000 embedded jobs and there's 106,000 of these other jobs, what you can do is you can add them together and say, hey, one is about 1 in 11 of the other. And so when you pick out anecdotes, yeah, there's like a 1 in 11 shot. So I'm not going to call you a liar. I'm just going to say that your experience is not good advice for the market. But I would like to change my field. Yo, I am so confused. Are you like arguing for or against embedded, homie? BA or BS? I'm not sure what you're asking, but the typical earnings for a Bachelor of Science is higher than a Bachelor of Arts. If you want out of embedded, hit me up. I'm happy to help. Let's get back to doing some code. Okay, that was fun. So here we are, we're on localhost. We extracted this thing, right? Cool, that's cool. Then we came over here. The new community member list item. Does it work? That's the key question. Does it work? So we'll spin it back up and do a manual regression test. In particular, I want to check the has contact info button because we tinkered around with it. Here I'm seeing some issues. This, Control Shift F, Control V, enter. All right, so this payment tier enum cannot be used as a value because it was imported using import type. Got it. Got it. Okay, so we'll revert that. Got to do that regression testing, eh? Good. All right, so this works. Open to work, looks good. Has networking interest, good, looks good. The joint of them offers no results as expected. Has contact info, it works. Let's try it with a joint test. Cool. 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 I think that's a pass with flying colors. And so this will be a feature, member list item component. That's the main feature. Let's see how that build is going. I think I have a few issues remaining still. Guys, it's a Friday. I did leak code earlier. I'm doing some open source now. So after this stream, I'm going to be playing some video games. Just trying to chill. Just playing some video games. So feel free to follow the page if you want to watch that as well. Complaint on row 3. All imports in the declaration are used only as types. Interesting. So null TRPC is not a type. It is a value. It's actually a literal 0, a constant literal 0, but it's used as a type. So apparently the import system says, hey, you can do this, which I didn't even know. I mean, we love our linters. That's a good reason to love a linter, eh? Desarrollando. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? Un hispanohablante está aquí. Un hispanohablante está aquí. It's laterally.io. You can sign up for free. The link is in my bio. It is a platform, a social network, and es una escuela también. A place where you can learn to code. Is this off Twitch? Little Mankind. I really enjoyed the little I watched. It was so cool. Honestly, you are so good, and I really like what you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joshua. Hopefully I remember this person's name. Y'all, it's a lot easier for me, instead of saying like, hey, here's my Discord, add me on Discord. It's a lot easier if you just join my Discord server, dude. I'll be honest with you. That's a lot easier. It's hard for me to keep track of everyone. That's like what the server is there for. Okay. Public user are used only as a type, okay? This is true. So we can do one of these. We got the nullish coalescing issue. Anything else? They're both nullish coalescing. Okay, so it looks like we're down to our last few issues. That's dope. So this is the has contact thing that motivated the whole extraction. So has user contact info. Boom. Chat, do y'all ever do sound effects to yourself while you code, or is it just me? All right, and so what I want to do here, the nullish coalescing is so useless, dude, because it's stringy. It's stringy, so it's never going to be null. But that's okay. I can null coalesce all three, and I will take the length and ensure that it's greater than 0. So I'm going to nullish coalesce and fall back this far, greater than 0. And now it is a Boolean. Voila, we have made a Boolean. We have made a Boolean. Okay. And so this will be fix null coalesce over, I guess that's a feature. Use no coalescence. Such a cool word. Feels so great to say something so fancy, doesn't it? Coalescence. It almost sounds like evanescence. All right, so we got another one over here. When building projects to get a job, say using Python, you recommend doing these things with CRUD RESTful API only, not those specific industry standard terms pretty much. You should use Fast API, Jamie. Keep it simple. You should use Fast API. That's the answer. Jensen Huang wants AI to do what you're doing. Me too. Me too, Elias. Let me know when it gets there. Shout out to Jensen. Imagine if I never had to do this crap again. That would be great. Okay, so this is if I have years of experience or a job title or a current job company. So what I can say here is if I has experience info. Has experience info. Okay? So here we'll say has experience info is this thing. I don't want to show their experience section if all it's going to do is say, hey, my name's John and I have 0 years of experience. So I want the 0 to be falsy. So in the null case, we'll have that, fall back to 0? I can parse the int. So if I parse int on null, I'm getting not a number. Yeah. And then what I want to do is say this is greater than 0 is false. Good. Good. Because I want a truthy number, like a number more than 0. So parse int is greater than 0. And whatever, that's fine. That's fine. Thoughts on Trump putting $500 billion into AI? Yeah, good question. So I don't like huge amounts of government spending. So that's thought one. But thought two is it is enough money to make a tangible change to the U.S. position in the geopolitical rank ordering of AI powers. So, like, I'm a big free market guy. I wish that they would, I really wish they would just kind of screw off. But I get where they're coming from. It's a security interest, et cetera, et cetera. I really don't like the whole antagonism against China. I think the solution is trade over animosity. Like, I think having an AI arms race is not a good way to mitigate antagonism. I think the right thing to do is, like, increase the Chinese H-1Bs, not, like, shut down and tariff them. And this is not just, like, opinion. There's, like, tons of research. You can check out Google Scholar, trade and peace. That's what you're going to want to search, trade and peace. Opening economies to one another, the war goes away because, like, you're trading with one another and you don't want to, like, shoot your dude that's helping you, right? It's like friendly fire or something. So that's the strategy I would prefer, is I would prefer the free market solution, but still, like, at least it's whatever. I kind of hate it, to be honest with you, but it will have an effect. It will have a tangible effect. Don't you think it's become more about greed? No, I don't think it's become about greed. Greed is like, when people start shouting about greed, it's just like, I don't understand economics. It's like one word to, like, say, hey, I don't know what economics is. Like, think about the case where there's a disaster. There's like a fire, and then, like, some dude, like, brings water and charges surge pricing, or like Uber gets a bunch of traffic and charges surge pricing. And then the financially illiterate people are like, oh, they're so greedy. No, dude. Like, if they weren't able to charge those amounts, they just wouldn't be there. Uber just, like, the driver who's doing the surge pricing just wouldn't be offering services in this, like, high traffic situation. The entrepreneurial dude who, like, drives from Nevada with a truck full of water just wouldn't make that trip if he wasn't getting some cash out of it, you know? China did not prove that we are overcharging. China used a technology that we didn't have. So, like, what if you have, like, 2 different recipes for cake, right? You have, like, 2 recipes for cake, and, like, one cake I don't know, it's like vanilla or whatever, and then somebody else makes a cake and they make it cheaper. Does that prove that like your cake was too expensive? No, they're different cakes. They're different cakes. Stock market disagrees. Yeah. Kudos to you if you can read the stock market. I think the stock market is down on the tariff news. I would love to see how you can prove a separation between the 500 billion. Are you just saying because OpenAI price went down? The fact that the OpenAI stock price went down does not mean that OpenAI was charging too much for their service. That is not a good way to interpret the stock movement. So I'm just trying to figure out how to keep myself relevant in the market. Build projects, homie. You're relevant. Quit being scared. Social network, grow your network, build some projects, and then start advocating for yourself. One of the big gaps that I see is people that don't know how to advocate for themselves. So even if you are relevant, it's going to be hard to find a job if you can't advocate for yourself. All tech stocks went down. I think we're doing pretty good. Elias. Like if you hit all-time highs and then you back up a little bit, I don't think it's a big deal. Does this look like an economic disaster or something to you? Does this where on this chart are you reading about the greed? I'm so confused, to be honest with you. This chart is doing exactly what I predicted it would do. I predicted this last year. Specifically, I predicted that it would go up in Q1, and it has. How do you advocate for yourself? Good question. One thing that you should do is build a collection of STAR method behavioral anecdotes so that you can use these during the behavioral interview. So you can advocate for yourself by interviewing. That's one way. You can advocate for yourself at performance review time, and the method will be similar. You will refer to these stories that you collect, stories of achievement and accomplishment. Leverage your one-on-ones with your manager. You can ask questions like, in my next performance review, I would like to reach this level. And so what can we do to get there? And get some buy-in about the particular tasks and achievements that you should be selecting. And then document them and brag about them. You can have what's called a brag sheet. Just keep track of them. You can advocate for yourself by social networking. So when you reach out to people and ask for a referral, the messaging that you use there is a way to advocate for yourself. Yeah, these are some of them. Right? I think those are some of the big ones. While also claiming they need to lay off workers. No. Layoffs are down. I don't. You're like watching the news too much, I think. Yeah, the news is talking a lot about Meta and their layoffs, but their layoffs are small. Layoffs are down. And also, layoff was very clear that they're laying off their low performers so that they can replace them with higher performers. So Meta was not like, we're broke, we got to lay people off. That was not the message. Meta was not like, oh, DeepSeek came out, now we need to lay people off. That was not the message. Part of Meta's message was, hey, now that we're in the Trump era, we're getting rid of DEI, so we don't need these people. And we're going to cut, how you filter messages, whatever that's called. And we're going to copy community notes from Twitter. And they kind of used that as a bit of a justification for the churn in headcount. The tech industry as a whole is small. what are you saying? Like what is your point? I feel like you keep being wrong, so you keep changing the topic. The tech industry cuts across every other industry. It is a uniquely horizontal industry. There's hundreds of thousands of jobs. Education has ed tech. Finance has fintech. Like go on and on and on. The military, where's the military spending money? Tech related stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, like, you could probably find an industry with more headcount if you want. What, like the restaurant industry? Now, it's tricky there because you need to get all the people who do tech out of restaurant because it actually overlaps. But let's just ignore that for now. Restaurant industry size, employees. Like, I don't understand what the point is here. We could show that there's going to be like more people working at McDonald's. That doesn't make it a good thing to advocate for people's careers. Yeah. So there's more people in the restaurant industry. Cool. Like, so what? I love good food. If that's your calling, go for it. I love it. Um, they're not making that much, right? That's the grim reality. They can't really work from home, right? Do you really prefer that over a tech job? I don't. I used to work in a restaurant and I left and I would never go back. Um, let's see. What can we do with the restaurant industry? How about employee satisfaction? I don't know. This feels like something that it's like totally off topic. This feels really off topic. Sanitation is really important. I know that's right. Nearly half of restaurant employees are hovering in the range of 11 to 15 an hour. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a bunch of people that are happy in the restaurant industry and I'm happy for them and I'm glad they're there. I'm glad they do it. Probably don't sign up at Latterly if you are interested, like if you're happy to be in the restaurant industry. Red herring, find another comparable industry like engineering. Well, software engineering is engineering. So what do you even want me to Google? What do you mean red herring, dude? That's not a red herring. I picked a large industry because you said tech is small. I'm agreeing with you. I think you're really confused, Elias. I think you're super confused. I don't even know what you're trying to say. No other industry fires their workers like tech. Wow. That's super wrong. That's like super wrong. Turnover by industry. Not that tech is the lowest. I mean, don't get me wrong on that. I think it is above the average. I think it's above average turnover. Oh geez, where like this would be a lot easier if you could do this instead of just like spamming the chat and making me go do this work for you. Sherm is good, right? We love Sherm. We'll go total US, total non-farm. Oh, this is cool. I didn't even know BLS had that. Unemployed persons per job opening ratio. That's cool. See, I can't just look at separations or quits or layoffs. You need to look at the proportion. That's like super annoying. How do I search this thing? Get data. Yeah, I don't know. You're the one making these claims. Send me some data. I'm having trouble finding it. Government roles and education, I think, have low turnover. So yeah, look, if it's true, if you want the lowest turnover industry, tech is not it. I can agree with that. I think we can agree with that. That doesn't mean tech is corrupting itself. Where are you using DeepSeek? Yeah, let's get back on topic. So I'm using DeepSeek here in Cursor. I'm using DeepSeek in the Cursor Composer. Here's some kind of issue. Cannot be used as a value because it was imported as a type. Okay. All right. Naysborn, thanks for the likes. What language is this? We're using TypeScript. You can see it, the file extension is .tsx, which is React with TypeScript. Oh, we got a successful build. Look at that. Nice. What are you making right now? Victor, welcome in, Victor. We are working on latterly.io. And you can sign up for free now, and you can make a public profile that looks like this. But here on localhost, the public profiles look much richer. So this will be going live tonight. Elias says, not trying to be difficult, but in reality, there's a level of politics in every high-paying field. Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't think that's being difficult. I wish it were not that way. Hey, be the change you want to see, Elias. Get into a high-paying field and then fix it. Bunch of warnings, but really no errors now. The dynamic server usage. I might want to fix this. I don't like that it's in red. Let's see. Let's try to fix that quickly. Couldn't be rendered statically because it used headers. I think that's okay. So I'm going Control P, settings, page. I think computer engineering has more security due to the new chip boom. AI chips will need drivers. Maybe. Maybe. There's also just all sorts of application work for these AI tools and integration work as well, right? AI also is software engineering. It's a specialized field in software engineering. Like AI is programs, it's software. So I think we're already seeing some of this blurring where a software engineer might do a language model integration, for example. That's a really good portfolio project in 2025, by the way. You can do something with Gemini or the OpenAI API or the Anthropic API. Wait, the user's example shows so the solution here is to tell Next.js that this page should be rendered at request time, not statically. Cool, I dig it. GPT isn't free, that's why they hate DeepSeek. Yeah, makes sense to me. Sam Altman made some kind of a statement. I didn't read through the whole thing, but he basically said that they want to move, that they're on the wrong side of open source history, and he wants to move in the direction of open source, which I think is great. Obviously, you can't do that overnight, but hope they move in that direction. I don't feel too bad for them, though. I applied there a few times and they never interviewed me, so that's their issue. AI agents are the new money-making product. Yeah, they're great. It's time for AI agents and automation. Coding is almost dead. No. I don't think you know how agents work, bro. You have to code agents. Agents don't just fall out of the sky. So yeah, it is time for AI agents. Do you know what this is? This is Cursor IDE. This is Cursor Composer. It uses an agent. So you're using an agent, but what are you doing with an agent? You're coding with an agent. So 2025 is not the time that AI takes over coding, like replacing it. It's the time that AI takes over coding like engineers use AI. It's a tool that we use. It's a tool that we use. And you can see that in the true up data. Look, hey, y'all, ChatGPT came out 3 years ago. We are growing jobs. We are growing jobs, y'all. We're on the uptrend. 34% up from the low and increasing. We're on an uptrend. So as the AI gets better, there are more software engineering jobs. This is what's so confused in the social narrative. People don't understand this. Listen again. As the AI gets better, there are more software engineering jobs. Still a net negative. Bro, what are you talking about? Prove it. What do you mean net negative? Prove it, dude. No, you can use no-code tools like Zapier. Bro, get out of here. Do you think that I've I've never used Zapier before? There's so much that it can't do. There's so much that it cannot do. Wow. Make me a website with Zapier. Go for it. Make me a website with Zapier. 500K peak. Come on, bro. That's the expectation. Like, if we're not breaking peak, we're cooked. Do you know how much money the government spent in COVID? This was crazy unsustainable. This was crazy unsustainable. You don't even want to be here. This is so overvalued. Software gets more productive. Software salaries go up every time. CD gets it. There's somebody who actually understands how a little bit of financial literacy. Thank God. Hector, I'm in uni right now, and kids that use ChatGPT do coding assignments are failing classes. LOL. Like, tell them to get good. I don't know. My computer isn't working. Do you know how to get Russian malware out? You got to take your time with it. If it's Russian, you just slow it down. Yeah, try a set timeout. Point being, you can't 100% depend on AI. Homie, you can't 1% depend on AI. Depending on AI is not the right mental model. AI is a tool. You need to be in the driver's seat. You need to already expect the right answer and just instruct it so that it writes out the boilerplate for you. That way you get some time back. You don't want to be depending on it. That's the wrong mental model. Kevin says, I saw my cousin's 10th grade history class on a field trip and everyone wanted to study computer science. I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. AI is being manipulated on the back end by engineers. Yeah, it's created on the back end by engineers. What do you mean? What do you mean manipulated? Like, you got to build these things, right? They're programs that exist server side. They're back-end programs. And that's more job opportunities, right? Back-end software engineering, there you go. All right, so this looks pretty good. Let's see if we got rid of that secondary complaint in the build logs. Yeah, it's cleaner now. Love that. Let's merge it. Love to see it. Partials the forward recruiter view. Yeah. Bam. Did I finally get to close this issue? This issue has been a pain in my thigh for a long time. Let's go. Merged. No, like the output is being manipulated. You aren't aware of how much control companies have. How much control do I think companies have? Do you know me? You think you know me? That's crazy, dude. Yeah. I understand that the output is manipulated. Here's the problem. The word manipulated has a negative connotation, but in many cases, companies are doing this for the right thing. So we would say things like guardrails and filtering, which are more neutral terms. So that, for example, if your end user is like asking an AI tool to build, let's just say something dangerous. Let's keep it ambiguous. I don't want to say the wrong thing and then my stream gets canned. But if you're asking a AI tool to help you build something dangerous or something illegal, it gets filtered. It gets filtered, right? Now you can say, well, I think that's manipulation. Fine. Like, what's your point? Businesses have different objectives. They're going to do what they think is in the interest of their business strategy. Some are right, some are wrong. Like, I don't know what kind of point you're trying to make here. There's not unilateral lockstep movement. That's the good thing. Different people are doing different things. So there is diversity in the implementation, which is good for innovation. DeepSeek, if you go to the DeepSeek API, it'll filter things about like Tiananmen Square. I think that's bad, but they're the only ones doing that. Grok is not doing that, right? You're very biased towards tech. Yeah, I think that's right. Are you saying that that's bad? You're chatting with me on the internet, bro. Like, go live in a cave. What? Yes, I'm biased towards tech. That thing which helps me communicate with my family. It helps me remember everyone's birthday. No shot, I would remember. It helps me network with thousands of people that I would just never otherwise meet. It helps me learn faster. It helps me make more money. It helps me feed my family for lower prices than have been in all of history. It helps me work remotely. Like, why would I not be biased towards tech? Like, what are you biased in favor of? Making fires with like flint? Even that's a technology. Even that's a technology. Like, what do you think technology is? Bam, we're deployed. All right, chat. Thank you so much for being here. You can go sign up at Latterly as you always could. You can sign up for free, make a public profile. But now you can also visit the settings tab and enter additional data around your top reasons for networking, your services. If you want to offer services, you can do that. Your top skills, years of experience, and more. And you can go network with other people for the reasons that they have available. It'll take some time. This feature just came out. It'll take some time before lots of people are saying that they're open to networking and what are those networking interests. That will take some time, but keep an eye on it. Check back a few times, maybe once a week for the next few weeks, and you can see those start popping up and you'll be able to network with people. You're assuming I'm not a SWE as well. No, I'm not assuming anything. If you want to be a SWE and if you want to go work with Flint because you're an anti-technology SWE, have at it. Have at it. All right, y'all. See you later.